With the Six Flags and Cedar Fair merger pretty much happening at this point, it's time to talk some bold predictions, including some bad news for coaster lovers like you and myself. Starting off with the first bold prediction, and that is, we are not going to see any major changes come to the parks during the first year. Now there's good news and bad news to that. The good news is there's going to be a lot of changes, but mainly on the Six Flags Park side of things, and a lot of it's going to be infrastructure and things you really won't visually see at the parks, at least that first year, because that first year is all about getting this company in a direction going forward that's going to provide great guest experience as well as increased profits for the company. After all, the brand new Six Flags parks are going to feature 26 different theme parks plus a handful of water parks located in North America. Now sadly, this next prediction might come true, and I hope it doesn't, but since both Cedar Fair and Six Flags are really trying to limit the budget on what they're spending, I don't know if we're going to see any new coaster open up at any of the parks in 2026, which would definitely be sad, and it's something that I'm not looking forward to, considering that now that there's again 26 parks, we definitely could easily see anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7 different coasters being added across those parks every single year. I just don't know what the direction the company's going to do in terms of the first year that the parks are all merged together. Now with that being said, the great news is that coasters, major ones, take at least 2 to 3 years to plan, develop, and most importantly, pay for. So, with parks like possibly Kings Island, Carowinds, or Six Flags Great Adventure or Great America, those projects, if they're getting a coaster in 2026, could easily be already in development, and they should still open up that year. The former Six Flags parks are going to receive a huge upgrade in food quality, and that's a great thing because let's face it, when you go to a Cedar Fair park, usually the food's pretty good overall for a theme park wise, and Six Flags on the other hand, you go there and typically you're only going to find one solid restaurant at the park. You might even have to leave the park to get food if you wanted to, or you're going to use your meal plan because of the cost benefit, but obviously Six Flags really does lack when it comes to food quality compared to Cedar Fair parks. The season passes for all 26 parks in this major company will be modeled after Cedar Fair's current pass options. I really do believe we'll see obviously the Silver Pass, the Gold Pass, and the Prestige Pass, with the All Park option being added in. And with that, the price for the passes will also increase a little bit due to the quality that the former Six Flags parks are going to start having and the Cedar Fair parks already maintain. Now, if you're looking for some really cool and affordable coaster merch to wear while you're in the parks, then check out keepridingcoasters.com for all my designs. I really do appreciate the support, and I love seeing all the merch out in the parks. Now for a quick bonus bold prediction, and that is goodbye Flash Pass. It's been real. Get the hell out of here, because Fastlane is so much easier, it's more efficient, it's easier for the attendants of the rides, and most importantly, the guests. So that's great news. I really do believe that all parks will adapt to the Cedar Fair Fastlane way, and honestly, that's the way it should be. Now here's a great one for my Intamin lovers out there. With Six Flags recently working with Intamin for over Georgia's brand new launched water coaster, I predict that we will see a new Intamin coaster open up at a Six Flags park before 2028. With both companies coming together, they're going to like certain things about different companies, and honestly, with so many parks out there, the short list of manufacturers that Cedar Fair works with when it comes to new coasters, those companies will not be able to produce the amount of coasters that the parks will need to open up every single year. So that's great news, and that is why I predict that we will see a brand new Intamin major coaster come to a Six Flags theme park before 2028. And now for the bad news. Well, maybe not bad news to some, but Zamperla will not be building many coasters for the parks in the future. After the fiasco with Top Thrill 2, and yes, it's still down, which company would really trust Zamperla to build a major coaster? Now, I will say, if we do see a Zamperla coaster come to a Six Flags park, then I do think it will be on the smaller size. Now, some might call me negative here, but I just don't see how Zamperla rebounds from this fiasco with Top Thrill 2. It's not a good look for the company, and the ride's still down, so I just don't see it working out. Now, if your home park is Six Flags America, Frontier City, Discovery Kingdom, and La Ronde, then I would be a little bit nervous because I predict that those 4 parks could easily be sold off sometime in 2026. And I really wish that wasn't the case, but I just don't see how this new company is going to survive with so many parks, and those parks that I just mentioned, and I just forgot one, Darien Lake as well. I just don't see how they make the cut. Whether it's the location, the size of the park, or the company leasing the land or that park, again, I just don't see those parks being a part of this company going forward. With that being said, California's Great America will not close as planned. Now, I know this might sound crazy, but I just feel like now that the merger is here, that the new Six Flags will keep the better park in the San Francisco area. I do not see both parks operating 10 years from now. And clearly, the better overall park is California's Great America. You have more room to work with, a better infrastructure, and honestly, just a better overall layout and coaster collection than you're going to find at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Now, another reason why I think that is the location for CGA is in a much better area than Discovery Kingdom. I do not think that we will see a new RMC show up at a Six Flags park. Again, this is both Cedar Fair and Six Flags parks merged together until at least 2029. The reason why, at least a major RMC, I could possibly see those Wild Moose coasters pop up at a park potentially, but if you look at the track record, both Six Flags and Cedar Fair haven't worked with RMC in a couple years now. And I don't think that's a coincidence. RMC obviously produces some fantastic coasters, but we cannot deny the fact that the coasters that they do build tend to break down or they have a lot of issues. And that is why we've not seen Cedar Fair work with RMC since 2018 and Six Flags since 2022 with Wonder Woman at Magic Mountain. And as I said in other videos on my channel, I'm actually concerned with the future of RMC due to that reason alone, because it's obvious the company has not produced many new coasters over the last couple years, and to make things worse, going in the future, who's building a new RMC here in America at least? So I have doubts about the company in the future, and I feel like Six Flags and RMC are not going to be working together for at least 2 to 3 more years or more. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then all I ask that you do is please give the video a like. That is by far the best way that you can help support my channel, Theme Park Recommendations, and I really do appreciate it. And if you're not enjoying this video, if you could please give the video a like as well. And now it's time for my last bold prediction for the Six Flags merger, and that is by 2030, the following coasters I predict will not be in operation. Starting off with Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Over Georgia. And I hate to say it, I know they're relatively new coasters, but I just don't see how the Kid Flash rides make it that far into the future due to the ride experience. I rode the one at Fiesta and it's rough. Like, it's not smooth, it's kind of zippy and whippy, which is cool, but it's not a comfortable ride experience, and the trains, I don't even really like the trains. I honestly think Skyline will be either out of business or just stick to what they're doing before they started building their own coasters. Six Flags New England's going to remove Flashback. This coaster has been in operation at the park since 2000, and way before that at Kentucky Kingdom and overseas before that. It is time. This Vekoma Boomerang breaks down all the time and has been in operation for just too long now. And just imagine what Six Flags New England could do with this plot of land where Goliath once stood and where Flashback once stood. Now this next coaster might bring some to tears, but I do not see how La Vivora over at Six Flags Over Texas makes the cut, and I do predict that this coaster is on its last legs, and once Cedar Fair really enhances this park, it's going to be even better, and this area right here would make for the perfect front gate coaster to really amp up your day at Over Texas. I feel like this park has so much potential, and the current Cedar Fair execs cannot wait to get their hands on this park. Heading up north to Six Flags St. Louis, because I do not see how Ninja is around at the park in 5 or 6 years from now. This coaster is arguably one of the worst ones in the entire world, and it's time to put it out of its misery. On the flip side of that, I do predict that Six Flags St. Louis will be getting a new coaster come 2027 or 2028 at the latest. And finally, the last coaster that I could see getting removed by 2030 would have to be Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now you might be wondering, why the heck did I list off all the Six Flags parks? And the real reason why is Cedar Fair is really good at removing older coasters from the parks, and while I would love to see Nighthawk or Vortex removed from Carowinds, I just feel like the current Six Flags parks really need the most work when it comes to cleaning up older rides and getting the parks up to the current Cedar Fair standards. And while Viper is a fantastic coaster, let's face it, this Aero 7 inversion coaster isn't the smoothest anymore. It's not the most popular at the park. I mean, some days it gets a line, but most of the time the ride does not draw a big line at all. And this plot of land right here screams future development. Especially now that Cedar Fair is in charge, I really would love to see a major coaster be located as you see right here that comes across the picnic grove and interacts with the park's front gate. Now, if you love visiting theme parks, then you have to check out these must-know theme park hacks in the video at the bottom of your screen. Trust me, your next theme park day will benefit from watching this video. With that being said, what are your thoughts on my bold predictions for the new Six Flags parks, and what are yours? Please let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.